So, welcome everyone to the Service Business Success webinar. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Aldrima Harper, and I am your host for this webinar and this training. And before I get into the training, I'm just going to take just a quick moment just to go over a little bit of housekeeping. During the presentation, you'll be on mute, but you can also mute yourself as well by hitting the mute button on your phone. If you're not in the Facebook group, you can join us by going to the Facebook group. It's called The Productivity Challenge. That's our Facebook group, and it is for it's a group that's growing tremendously, and it's for the productivity rock stars. Okay, and it's a place where you can ask questions after the webinar is over and just continue to engage with us. There will be a Q&A. Where you can ask questions in the group, but there'll be a time for Q&A as well where you can ask questions in the chat box via this conference platform. If you are joining online, like I said, there will be a chat box where you can post your questions, and just in case I don't get an opportunity to answer your question, I will get in there, to answer them as soon as I can. This webinar will be an hour, and I've got a lot to cover as usual, so I may move a little fast. So, and also all of you who registered for this training, you will get a link to access the recording. So be ready to take some notes and just get your pen and paper out and just write down your questions that you may have. Like I said, I'll be moving a little fast, and I have a lot that I want to cover. So my goal is, in the next 45 minutes or so, is to just go over these few things. I'm going to share some personal characteristics that you'll need to be successful in your service-based business. I'll also go over some of the advantages and disadvantages of running a service-based business. I will also share what service-based business owners are doing to ensure success. And again, like I said, we will also allow for Q&A, and I will, as usual, have a special offer for those who stay with me until the end. And so if you, again, and let me say this as well, if you haven't already done so, make sure to go ahead and download your free success guide. Okay, so these strategies that I'll be sharing with you today are designed to help you free up your time and grow your business as well. So, by way of introduction to those who's if you've never heard of me or been with me before, by way of introduction, my name is Aldrima Harper, and I am a productivity strategist, the creator of, and let me first apologize. I have the window open, and so there may be a little bit of noise in the background. So hopefully you can, still hear me very well. Let me know if you can't. You can just, type it in the chat box. So again, let me introduce myself. My name is Aldrima Harper. I'm a productivity strategist. I'm the creator of SuccessBizAcademy.com. I'm an organizing consultant at SimplisticOrganizing.com. And I help overwhelmed entrepreneurs, life coaches, trainers, and service professionals to create solutions to eliminate clutter and overwhelm and boost productivity to create freedom in your business. I help you to be more efficient, profitable, and focused. You want to be focused on running and growing your business. Now, I've been in the organizing business for over 12 years, actually, since like 2003. When I first started out as a professional organizer, I did it on a part-time basis, and then about 6 years in, I decided, or somewhere around there, 6 or 7 years in, I decided to get serious about my business and made the decision to go in full-time. I organize anybody and everybody. I was extremely busy, making really good money. And I was at a point I was thinking, okay, I'm good. I'm working, I'm making money, I'm loving what I'm doing. However, I was exhausted. So here's why I was exhausted. I was exhausted because, number one, I had no systems. Nothing was automated. Everything was in my head. Okay? Basically, I had created a job for myself. I even tried hiring an assistant, but ended up doing it myself because I hadn't documented any of my processes, and nothing was automated. So, I even remember having a client that was, a little upset with me because I told her I needed to, reschedule her and move her to another day so that I could attend a workshop. And that's when I knew I had created a job for myself. So I realized then that there was power in delegation, having systems and automation in place to help you run your business more efficiently, even when you're not there. So lastly, let me just say this before we get into the meat of it. When you're doing all the work yourself, you're not in business. You're self-employed, and you've created a job for yourself. And that's okay if that's what you want. But if you want to experience the freedom if you want to experience true freedom in your business and spend time with your family, make money even when you're doing something else, then you'll want to put some systems and automation in place. And we'll talk about that later on, but I really wanted to share that because it really brought my business to a screeching halt when I realized that there was nothing that I wasn't scalable. I couldn't grow my business and I wasn't scalable. And so I'm going to share some of those things again with you today in terms of how to do that. But we'll get to that. Let me share, if you will, a few testimonials I've received regarding my business, regarding my coaching. Savvy Brand Krista says, I first encountered Aldrima Harper on Periscope. Talk about serendipity. She has the best advice and clarity on getting things streamlined for your business. I have since had a couple of other sessions, different sessions working with her, and she continues to motivate and inspire me to streamline. But all in a way that works for me. I am in Washington State, so yes, she can help you even if you aren't in Texas. I would recommend her to anyone looking to use their time more wisely, looking to do more money-producing activities with all of the time and resources. You will free up from working with her. I didn't quite get that right, but here's another testimonial. Aldrima Harper has a unique way of making you feel special and validated. I highly recommend her services. In fact, I recommend her to anyone who needs organizing or transitional counseling. She is the best. Kim Winston. I thank them for those testimonials as well. So, who is this for? Well, I'm so glad you asked. If you're in the service-based business, this is for you. If you're a life coach, wellness coach, a fitness coach, consultant, contractor, if you provide personal services or business services, this is in fact for you. This is also for you if you feel like you're wearing too many hats, you feel like you're wanting to free up your time, or even if you're struggling to get clients and keep them happy, right? Listen, I know as a professional organizer and a coach, I've been in the service-based business industry for more than a decade, and I can tell you this, I've had highs and I've had lows, and I will tell you that the highs are better, but the lows empower you to grow. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so here's the deal. Today, people are increasingly leaving their 9-to-5 jobs and starting businesses where they offer services directly to customers. Many people are getting either they're doing this online, offering all types of services, building websites, social media managers, pet sitting services, and even appliance repair. There's all types of ways you can start your service-based business. Okay, now is the best time, absolute best time to be an entrepreneur, I believe. According to the Harvard Business Review, as of February 2014, there were approximately 14.4 million self-employed Americans. Of these, 9.2 million were unincorporated, self-employed, like you and myself, workers, and another 5.2 million were incorporated. So just take a moment, to consider that number, approximately 14.4 million. That's a pretty high, staggering number, right? Over the course of the year, from September 2014 to September 2015, the total U.S. workforce hovered around 120 to 125 million people. This means that over 1 in 10 of the working American population is self-employed. So needless to say, one of the key reasons of this high number of self-employment is the ease of starting your own business, particularly over the internet. But that's not specifically what we're talking about today. We're talking about service-based entrepreneurs. However, there are ways that you can have a successful business, whether it's online or offline. But those numbers should prove to you that it is extremely profitable and can be a success, in your endeavor. So that should be encouraging. Everyone is attracted to the idea of self-employment. And it may be different reasons, but here's a few of the reasons. You love doing what you want to do. Do what you love. Doing what you want. It's frustrating when you long to work as a writer or a designer, but but you just can't seem to, find it, because you have a full-time job, or, and the reason I laugh is because I've experienced that before. Okay, taking charge of your own work life is another reason that people love that, that this is a lure, if you will, to self-employment. Many people choose to be self-employed so that they can get control over their work. Okay, they can work without bosses, meetings, issues with coworkers, etc., so on. But you can take charge of your own work life. Flexibility is another one. Taking charge of your own work life also allows flexibility. Most people who are self-employed, work at home and set their own schedules. Okay, parents can work around their children's schedules, avoiding the cost and hassle, daycare and spending time with their kids. Another reason: no more commuting. I can't tell you how I hate that 8 o'clock traffic or 5 o'clock traffic here in Dallas, and for that reason, I love to the fact that I don't have to commute. It can be downright depressing if you add up all the time that you spend commuting, each week or each month or each year. When you work from home, you can, your commute is less than a minute, right? Earning potential. Okay. In most fields, you can earn more by going solo, right? Instead of working for a set salary, no matter how much you earn for your company, and consistently having to prove yourself to your superiors to earn more, right, of the value you produce. Your service business allows you to keep all that you earned, with the exception, of course, the taxes that you have to pay. However, there is a huge earning potential that you don't experience working for someone else. So starting your own service-based business doesn't necessarily require you to quit your day job. Some people continue to work full-time, but offer services on the side to supplement their income. That's one good strategy for getting started. All right, it's to keep your regular job, but start earning through your business, and only quit your job when your business becomes your main income. All right, starting supplementing your income or replacing lost income through your own business is one way to hedge against economic instability and risk. If something happens and you're laid off from your job, you still have your business to provide income until you get another one, right? You may also start multiple service businesses rather than just one, okay? You could offer a variety of services or similar services to different markets in order to generate multiple streams of income. Some service providers set up, different markets, similar services to different markets, in order to generate multiple streams. And some set up businesses that can run with little input from them, thus earning a residual income. All right, so as a service-based business, it's just that. It's a business that serves regular customers or businesses, right? So here are just a few examples. Personal services, such as a personal assistant, or a professional organizer like myself, a driver, massage therapist, etc. Or business services, right? Consulting, coaching, IT services, professional training, administrative services, marketing and sales, SEO services, social media services. I mentioned that. Home services, right? Handyman/woman services, home entertainment installation, home electronics. These are all excellent examples. Family services, party planning, home tutoring, childcare, fitness, event services, photography, event promoter, tour promoter. These are all excellent examples of what service businesses that you can provide if you're not already in that arena, in one of those arenas. So what will you get from this webinar, right? Most people who are self-employed find it easier than expected and enjoy their newfound freedom and independence so much that they never consider going back to the old routine. However, there are some specific challenges that service businesses face, especially in the early days. And the purpose of this webinar is to help prepare you for those challenges so that you can meet them successfully. So in this webinar, we're going to talk about some of the additional personal characteristics you'll need to be successful in a service-based business. We'll also talk about some of the pros and cons of the pitfalls that you can avoid when running a service-based business. We'll also discuss what service-based businesses and entrepreneurs are doing to ensure success. So let's just start with talking about personal characteristics. I know for me, as a professional organizer and coach, I've been in the service business, again, like I said, for more than a decade. And like I said, I can tell you that the highs are much better. The lows empower you to grow. All right? Although anyone can start and run a successful business, a successful service business, how do you know if you have what it takes? But there are certain characteristics and natural strengths that make it a little easier. Before you start on this path, you should really begin to understand these characteristics and just kind of measure yourself against them. If these traits don't sound like you, it doesn't mean that you won't be successful. The point of listing these traits is just to give you an idea of the challenges that you may face, right, in growing and grow in the process. Okay? So I did share in the promo video 3 characteristics that's needed for a service-based business. Trust me, it takes more than just these 3. It takes more than self-motivation, it takes more than business knowledge, it takes more than good time management skills. But let me just say a little bit about those 3. Self-motivation, because a great deal of work goes into setting up and running a service-based business, and there's no boss, breathing down your neck. Let me tell you, self-motivation is absolutely crucial. You need to be a self-starter, and someone who can stay on task if you really want to grow your business. Business knowledge. You need to know and have some basics about running a business, not just your profession in terms of what you do. You need to know. You need to have some business knowledge and know how to run a business, know things about your industry and even related industries. This is something that can be learned. And if you're not at all, not all that business savvy to start with, it's well worth your time to study. Time management. Much of what managers do in companies is time management of employees. So when you work for yourself, you have to manage your time. And it really helps if you're already somewhat proficient at it, but time management skills, again, just like anything else, can be learned. And if you're willing to create new habits and stick to them, you can manage those skills and learn those skills. So those were the 3 that we talked about in the promos. Now, here are a few other skills. Organizational skills. This can be also learned if you don't have them already, again. But if you generally are an organized person, this will speed up your learning curve, especially when it comes, when the time comes that you're handling multiple customers and jobs and, multiple revenue streams. You'll need to keep all of these things organized. Management skills. It really, really helps if you're good at managing other people. It's possible that your business will never hire additional staff. However, you may have to at some point in time. And so management skills and managing people is a skill that you can definitely learn or, in fact, outsource if you find that difficult. Marketing skills. When service businesses are just starting out, they don't usually have the budget to hire marketing staff. And so you have to rely on, maybe online marketing such as SEO or social media, these type of things. However, this can also be outsourced if you have the budget for it. But you definitely will need some marketing skills. People skills. You need to have people skills. You need to have good social skills for interacting both with customers and with vendors and other business owners, so that because your business will rely on having good people skills and interacting with all types of individuals. Now, one major challenge for many self-employed people is that you have to be both professional at whatever service you provide and an entrepreneur. No matter what kind of business you're in, you will inevitably become an entrepreneur, even though you may never have thought of it as one before. You may have never thought of yourself as being one before, right? So here's some things that being an entrepreneur involves. Again, self-discipline and motivation, decision-making and problem-solving skills. You need to have a vision for your business and its future. You need to really be flexible and have the ability to adapt to certain types of situations. You need to have perseverance in the face of adversity. You also need to be on a constant search for new ways to grow your business. Additionally, you need to have an understanding of your market. You need to have self-reliance, self-confidence, and ability to commit, and at least some sense of competitiveness. I must admit that I'm not the, how can I say that? I'm not the biggest person on competition, but I tell you, it is an area that I have had to grow into. So again, there's a great deal to consider in this, in this entrepreneurial journey. And the point of this is not to discourage you, but rather to help you to set expectations. These are qualities that will help you and will help you, which you should consider, definitely for improvement, because I can tell you again, some of these characteristics, whether it's the personal characteristics or the entrepreneurial characteristics, you will be challenged in those areas of being, an entrepreneur. And a lot of people, what they will do, they will tell you all the wonderful things about being being an entrepreneur, and having a business, and whether it's a service-based business or product-based business, whatever it is, a lot of people will share the glory, but rarely will they share some of the challenges and some of the pros and cons. A lot of times we just talk about a lot of the pros, but there are some cons, and if you're not ready for them, and if you're not prepared for them, then you will set yourself up for failure, because you have not set the right expectations in terms of being in business for yourself. So let's just move on a little bit to some of the pros and cons. So how do you know if you're ready to start your own business, or if you're already in the service business? Is it right for you? Because although anyone can start and run a successful service business, there are certain characteristics, as I said, and natural strengths that make it a little bit easier, right? So now that we've looked at some of those personal and entrepreneurial traits and characteristics, let's just take a quick look at some of the advantages and disadvantages you need to take into account whenever the going gets tough with your own business. And I know I've said this repeatedly. I've had highs and I've had lows. The highs are a lot better, but the lows empower you to grow. So think about these pros and cons, and just see whether one, the pros outweighs the cons for your motivation. So here are some advantages of starting a home-based business or being self-employed. Again, flexibility, working at home, time with family, minimal startup costs, independence, earning potential. We talked about that. Some of the disadvantages: work-life balance, right? If you work from home, you might end up working all the time. And I say this from personal experience, because I have a tendency to be a workaholic, particularly if I love what I do. I want to do it all the time, okay? But what you're going to have to do is to set a schedule, a start time and end time, just like you would do if you were working for someone else, because it's easy to become absorbed in your work and doing what you love to do, because if that's going to earn you more money, but then you begin to neglect your family, your social life, your leisure time. So you absolutely need to have a little bit of a sense of work-life balance. Discipline. It takes a great deal of discipline to work for yourself. It's nice to have, while it's nice to have the boss off your neck and off your back, but you might need a boss or a coworker or someone to help you stay accountable in terms of discipline. Isolation can be a big, big problem. Many people quit their jobs to get away from coworkers and bosses, only to find working at home lonely, okay? Because you may miss the social interaction and the contact and support, that you get from your peers. So it's not always it's not always easy to get that contact and support via the internet, okay? In fact, that's why a lot of people will find themselves, in spending a whole lot of time on some of the social media platforms, on Facebook and Twitter, because they need that interaction. And so for me, what I do is when I feel like I've been in isolation, I may go and sit in, a coffee shop or Starbucks or something like that, just to be able to interact and, have some social interaction with people. You may even consider what you call a one of those co-op or co-working environments where there's other entrepreneurs that's there, and you're able to interact with other entrepreneurs and as well as get support. So consider that isolation can also be a challenge for you. Wearing multiple hats, this is a big one. This is really why I wanted to do this webinar, because when you run your own business, you a lot of times, particularly when you start, you have to wear multiple hats. You have to be the accountant, you have to be the boss, you got to be the specialist or the technician, you got to be the HR, and some of these hats may be things that you're not good at, and it will be a struggle to handle them. So keep in mind all the advantages and disadvantages of running your your home-based business or your service-based business in mind as you look at the characteristics, of proven successful service business and service entrepreneurs. So, service-based, businesses, the owners, we face a number of challenges through the life cycle of our businesses. Okay, but for someone who is struggling in their business, right, these challenges can present major obstacles and can even discourage you if you're, in a new business or you're considering business. So in this section, we'll just go over 3 steps that you can take to accelerate your business, your service-based business, to ensure success. So number 1. One of the biggest challenges you will face is attracting new clients or attracting new business. I mean, if you're not getting new clients, if you're not getting new business, then your business is going to fail. You're not going to be successful. You need business. You need customers. You need clients. So the biggest challenge is getting people to come to you, and your challenge is going to be attracting new business. Now, in this day and age, you must stand out in the crowd. You need to work and find new and innovative ways to attract new business, particularly as a service business. You have the tools and the skills to carry out the work for your service business or clients, but the biggest challenge is going to be to get people who need your services. And so new businesses, you'll find, you will find that you naturally, to some extent, you'll find the new businesses and the new business, you'll attract new business, if you will. But you'll always need to be attracting new business even when your business is busy, not just when you get started, even when your business is busy and going well. So one of the things you absolutely have to do is optimize your visibility. You can do that through social media. Periscope is an amazing way to attract new clients. I've used Periscope and continue to do so, and it has helped me tremendously in my business. You can do podcasts, social media, YouTube, etc. You can also do live training events in order to attract new business. You can do joint venture partners and collaboration in order to attract new business. Don't try to do these things alone. There are ways that you can attract new business, but you have to be, again, innovative. Think outside of the box, and not just rely on one, type of tool or resource to get new business. Try different things and find what works for you. Now, number 2. Okay, number 2. Okay, you should always be leveraging and maximizing relationships. Every business, no matter how small or how large, you need to be maximizing your efforts, right? Okay, so here are some ways that you can do that. Because not only should you be attracting new clients, you should be continuing on an ongoing basis to nurture the relationships that you have, the relationships with your existing clients, and leveraging the relationships that you already have with your peers and other fellow entrepreneurs, right? And so here are some ways to do that. You can do that by email marketing, okay? You really, nowadays, the big thing is the money is in the list. If you don't have a contact list, if you're not utilizing email marketing to maximize and leverage your relationships, then you could be leaving money on the table and missing out on a lot of business. Webinars, just like what I'm doing right now, is a wonderful way, to maximize and leverage relationships, because in these webinars, you are leading with value. You are providing value, and that's even on the list here. But webinars, is a way to educate your potential leads or people that may be interested in your services. And so you definitely want to utilize webinars. It's a wonderful way to leverage and maximize the relationships that you already have. Asking for referrals. A lot of people a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, if you ask them where their clients come from, it's word of mouth, and that's great. That is great, but a lot of times when you utilize referrals, in other words, you can't just be a referral-based business, is what I'm saying. You need to utilize this referrals in addition to other ways to maximize and leverage your relationships, because referrals can be inconsistent and unpredictable. So you need to have a way to supplement the different ways that you're using now to supplement, your email marketing, your webinars, and asking for referrals. You can't just rely on one way to maximize and leverage, the relationships, because you'll definitely be leaving money on the table and leaving out and overlooking opportunities. It is a good resource. It is a good way to leverage relationships, because of course, these are people that you already know, so maybe you've worked with them before, and so you ask for referrals, and so it's a wonderful way, but again, it's inconsistent and unpredictable, so you definitely want to supplement. Okay, so getting a review on your current services. You can ask your current clients to do a survey, or give you a review, maybe give you a review on your Facebook page. I've been doing that, and I've been getting, great responses, from people. Keep in mind that a lot of times people don't, it's got to be something that's quick, and it's got to be something that you do quickly. Not only, in other words, it shouldn't be something that's going to take up a lot of their time, and it's also something that, you got to get it while it's hot. Okay, so once the client says, yes, I love your services, I've done this, these are the type of results that I've received, then you will want to capitalize on that and use that opportunity to get a review and ask them to do a survey. The last way on this is make sure that you're always providing value. Make sure that you're always, providing, tips and tools and resources and things like that. We are in an information age, and so you want to be in front of your potential clients and your customers on a regular basis, providing value and things that they need and that they will look to you as being a resource. I was in a conversation on just yesterday with a very successful entrepreneur, and he was, saying that is definitely something that you should always be aware of, is because even if you don't provide that type of service, have a list or have resources, for that client or potential client, if you're in the renovation business, and maybe they just need a plumber or an electrician, you may not be the plumber or the electrician, however, you can definitely say, hey, let me just give them a call or give you their number, feel free to give them a call or what have you. That way, they know to come to you, because more than likely you may have a connection or a resource or, someone that can provide a service that you can't actually provide to them. So make sure, again, that you are providing value. Okay? So number 3, every business, no matter what size, no matter how small, no matter how large or whatever, you need your own internal protocols, right? Okay, so in other words, routines for managing your regular work in your business. For example, you might have a standard procedure for responding to inquiries for potential clients or setting up initial jobs. You should have a process in place. I just shared with you early on in the webinar that I failed in, I was exhausted because I did not have the right processes in place. They need to be established early on in your business, okay? Because over time, you're going to have to improve these processes. So don't have the attitude that, or make sure that, let me say it this way, if you're just starting your business, don't think that it's not a necessary thing to do just because you're just starting out, okay? Because it can be improved over time for better efficiency, or changes in the market, or your business, or even your customer base may change. But start early on in your business. When I first started out in my business, my business services or personal services were a little different from what they are now. Over time, I've been able to refine them. I've been able to identify the specific clients and customers that I want to attract, and so I've had to change, the protocol and my internal protocol and routines for managing my business, because they've changed over time, and so will they for you as well. Okay, so at first, outsourcing and automation may not be of a concern for you because it may not be in the budget, but once your business gets going, outsourcing and automation can help you tremendously by getting those time-wasted tasks off of your desk, okay? And so, this will allow your business to scale. I can't emphasize that enough. That is exactly what happened to me when I was exhausted. I was not able to scale and grow my business. And again, they need to be established up front and improved over time. So as you're starting, as you start building your service business, keep an eye out for areas that could be outsourced or automated, or, as you network, I try to identify people who may be able to help you in your business. So, in conclusion, and some next steps that you can take. I hope you're getting, I hope you're getting value from this, because I really, love to work with entrepreneurs, particularly service entrepreneurs, just to help you in that, learning curve and help you in that process. Because taking charge of your own of your own working life, okay, so that you can be your own boss and maximize your earning potential, it can be very, very rewarding, all right? But few who successfully make the change ever go back to working for someone else, but it's not without its challenges and barriers to success, right? So I've attempted at this point to identify some of those barriers, and hopefully I've provided, some simple strategies to help you in your service business. Now, again, and I don't know if I've said this already, but this is by no means is this an exhaustive list. We simply did not have enough time to do this in 60 minutes. But hopefully you're much more prepared and aware of some of the things or some of the challenges that you might face, and you're able to, catch them early on, and you can make the change or improve your service business that maybe you hadn't thought about prior to this webinar. That is my goal. So we've talked about the advantages and disadvantages, all right? The various reasons people decide to start their own service-based business, the different ways you can be self-employed, what services you can offer. We've talked about that. We've talked about, again, the advantages and disadvantages. We've talked about the personal characteristics or traits that you may be well suited for, for running your own business, and which of these traits can be easily learned and acquired, right? We've also discussed some common challenges that people face when they start their own businesses. We've also shared some strategies that you can use to combat those challenges directly. Okay, so I do want to take a moment for Q&A, but if there are no questions, then we can definitely move on. But let's see here. The main thing I wanted to do, even before the Q&A, this is the main thing I would like for you to do. I want you to review your notes and your service business guide. There are, there's a checklist, in there, and hopefully you've been taking notes as well. Write down your number one motivation for running your own service-based business or your own service business. What is your number one motivation, right? And I want you to keep this handy for when you're struggling and when you're ready to give up, because this will either keep you going or it will discourage you. But write down your number one motivation. Next, I want you to determine your action plan and schedule any outstanding activities on your calendar for implementing your plan. Schedule times to review and reflect on your plan at regular intervals so that you can see where you need to address or refocus on your different challenges. This is really going to be crucial because from time to time, people, get into their businesses and they jumpstart and you pull the trigger and, realize that, oops, maybe I, should have waited for this, and, perhaps I should have done that. And so, you really want to be as prepared as possible because you will face some challenges in running your business. And again, this is not to discourage you, but this is so that you don't set yourself up for failure. So that is what I'd like for you to do in terms of that. The main thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to just sit and wait too long to take action. Okay? Take action now. Do those things that we just talked about. Look at all your notes. In the service business guide is really going to help you. It's an 8-page guide that is designed to help you in your service-based business. So write down your number one motivation for running your business and then determine what your action plan is going to be. So like I said, the main point I want to get across is just don't sit and wait too long to take action. Now, I also want to share with you something that I'm kicking off. A brand new business acceleration program is coming up on November the 21st, which is a Saturday. It's going to be a kickoff session. It's two-hour jam-packed session that's really going to help you in your business. Because again, 60 minutes is not enough time in order to do that, right? So this is a business acceleration program. What the results you will get is you will be able to cut hours from your workday while adding money to your bottom line. And who doesn't want that, right? So let me just share a little bit about what that program looks like. It is a 4-week course packed with actionable steps that you can use to create an easy, repeatable system. I'm all about systems and automation that will make your workday easier, your business more streamlined, and increase your profits, right? And this special offer that I have for you, for those of you that stayed with me on this webinar today, is at the lowest price I have ever offered and I will ever offer, right? Because I'm just not inclined to do this at this price again. So until midnight, it's only $97. Only $97, but you have to act quickly. And you can do that by going to sassysystems.info, sassysystems.info. Now, here are just a few of the things that you will learn in the program. Module 1, again, it's a 4-module program. Module 1, it will be, you'll learn how to stress-free immediately free up your time as quickly as possible. Module number 2, you will tame the tech. You will begin to successfully simplify even those must-have systems by simply eliminating some of them. Right? Module 3, sexy sales systems and streamlined systems. You know, that's where your hard work will pay off. And then because what we will do, we will share, I'll be sharing some automated and systemized systems that will help to drive traffic to your business, and you will be able to make money like clockwork, okay? And then number 4, easy breezy money matters, okay? Now, here's the deal. Again, go to sassysystems.info so that you can find out more about that. There is a complete outline, and you can enroll quickly. Again, the price is going to go up, right? And so I definitely want you to be able to get in on that price. I'm very, very excited about this program, and I look forward to servicing you in your business. I think it's well worth the investment, and because the investment in your business, you will definitely reap the benefits. So if there aren't any questions or anything that you want to share in the chat box or anything like that, or unmute yourself, you can definitely do that. But I'll address any questions that you may have about the program or anything that we've shared today, and I'll take a look at the chat box to see whether or not there are any questions. If there are no more questions, then I want to thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you taking the time to come to the webinar and listen to some of the things that I wanted to share with you. I hope you got value from this, but make sure that you go and check out sassysystems.info and get all the yummy details. Other than that, and on that note, I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a great day.